you get up at 5 in the morning. This has got to be done. This has got to be done. It's, at first it's like culture shock. And then even now it's still bred in me that I do things a certain way. And it's from the military. So, and, it keeps you, it does. It will keep you, if you take it seriously, you get out of it what you put into it. And, I was, like I said, I had given everything when I went through basic training. I was one of 8 that got a letter of commendation from the captain in basic training. Two of us out of each platoon got letters of commendation. So, I mean, this was my life. This was going to be my life. So, in a sense, it let me down a little bit, but there's reasons behind things, and I may not know what that reason was. I have no idea.
Do you regret anything, any decisions that you've made, as far as even joining the military or?
No, if I would have been, I guess, a little more aware of how things worked as far as when you do join and you sign, if I was, I don't want to say, I don't like the word naive or being taken advantage of, but if I would have been more aware of, I would join again. And that might sound crazy to some people, but that part of my life, even up till the time I got out, was a good part of my life. I met a lot of really great guys that, we went through basic training together, and half of the guys I went through basic training together, we all went into the same MOS, so I would have known these guys my entire life. So, regrets, probably not being more aware of what I was getting myself into. So, other than that, no. I'm one that believes that everybody should do some time in the military. It would definitely help out a lot.
Why would you recommend someone to join the military, or whether it is, full service or reserve? Why would you recommend someone?
Just for the not only the discipline, but the fact that you're serving your country. You're serving a place that we have the freedom to do, and now it's basically do what you want to do. I mean, we have the freedoms that no other country in the world has. So why not give, even if it's a year or two, why not give time to say, okay, I love my country enough that I will give 2 years of my life to protect it and to serve and to protect the people that live here and to protect those freedoms. Mm-hmm. So that's, that would be my, and like I said, you learn how to be disciplined. It's very disciplined. When I went through, I don't know now, but I know when I went through, it was very disciplined. You had to carry your weight. So,
do you think that being, I'm going to go back to the loss of your father and everything. Do you think that you were looking for that father figure, and it was kind of in the military, because military basically will guide and instruct and lead and give you protection and so forth like that? Do you think that could be some part of why you went in? to get that fatherly, in a sense, guidance? Take your time.
Well, I've never really thought about it that way. I've never looked at it, but it could be. It could have been. It was it, and I hate to use this analogy. It was kind of my way of getting out of here, but I wasn't doing it just to get out of here. I wanted something that would benefit me also. And you do get trained. You get like I said, with the discipline, everything's on a regiment. And I guess with my personality, I need that regimented lifestyle. So why not? I loved the fact that I would have been working on, huge vehicles in the military. And, it might have been the fact that, hey, maybe I do need that, but not to look at it as a father figure, but just to have that, okay, this is how you need to be here, and use that as a growing tool or a stepping stone. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not to say that, I needed to be babied every day of my life, but the military possibly could have given me a solid foundation to grow from. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
that's a good word, a solid foundation to grow from, because as fathers, they are
right.
the solid,
right.
They are basically
right.
the foundation in which the child grows on as they lead and as they guide and direct.
Right.
And so instruct. So that's, as you was talking about that, I thought about, because of the loss of your father in military at the same time, because evidently the loss of your father kind of catapulted you to get yourself together in high school, and then boom, you wanted to go into military. So you knew you needed that, that guidance in a sense.
Well, yeah. It wasn't, but it wasn't with me. It wasn't an overnight thing.
Right.
Like I said, my father passed away when I was 10. I barely knew him. The last 3 years of his life, he was in and out of the hospital. We were barely lucky if we saw him once or twice a month, if that, because they had put the Hodgkin's disease into remission twice, and when it came back the third time, it was in his lymph nodes. So it was totally gone by then. But I had, from the time I was 10 till I quit school at 15, and then from 15 to 18, where I finally decided, okay, this is enough. I don't want to live like this. I need something to at least give me some kind of direction. And I chose the military. And as I said, it would have been my life if it would have worked out. So I have no regrets with what I did. As I said, the only regret I had was at that time of my life is that I quit school at 15 and thought, well, nobody's going to tell me what to do. And I learned the hard way that it's, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. So,
Tony, when you look over your life and you see the experiences and you see the struggles and even your victories of overcoming situations and stuff, what one word would you describe you What is that one word that you would describe that would cover everything that you've endured? For an example, courageous,
Perseverance. I think perseverance would. Yeah, I'm a little slower than some people as far as getting things done, but I don't quit when I put my mind to it. It's all right, let's get this done, and just because there was many times growing up that I could have just given up and said, oh, and not to take anything away from anybody that has ever lost a parent or feels like their life is coming apart. I would just tell them to persevere, because there is another side to what you're going through, and I'm living proof of it. I've dealt with the loss of a parent at 10 and having nobody to talk to about it. I felt like I was let down, when I joined the military, but I would still recommend it. So, and you deal with what life gives you, and you, as I said, if I would say persevere and just keep pressing forward no matter how long. I mean, I stayed out of school for almost 3.5 years and went back. As you said, you've never heard of anybody doing that.
Mm-mm.
So
that's just
unbelievable. And actually, like I said, I believe when I went back, nobody in the school system had ever heard of anybody going back and starting over at 18 years old, but I wanted my diploma. So I did. And but to just one day at a time, that's all you can do. It's just one day at a time, and it gets better. Because there were times in my life where I really thought that I wasn't going to make it. But I said it was one day at a time, and you persevere.
When you said the word persevere, it reminded me of the scripture that says the race is not given to the swift, but to them that endure unto the end.
Right.
And so you endured a lot of things, that, people wouldn't have, some people wouldn't have even overcame or even endured, not only just the brief moment in the military and dealing with that, but also the loss of your father, being on your own, having no family support at the age of 15 and doing what doing what you do. So I commend you for the service that you've given. It doesn't matter how long you've been in the military.
Right.
Well, you could be in it for 3 months or for 10 years. You served. Your heart was there to serve. So I definitely commend you on your life and on the victory of persevering.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Is there anything else you would like to say before we close?
If anybody is going through a hardship, like anything that like I've gone through, just tomorrow's another day, and it you might not think it, but it does get better. I can't say that it gets easier, but it gets better, and you learn to deal with it. And you could be going through something that you can use to help somebody else.
Well, that was awesome. That was awesome word of wisdom. Again, thank you for coming on the show, Tony. You've listened to Live with Necee. I'm your host, Opal Bailey. God bless.